How's it going, everyone? I'm here with Cas Anvar, one of the main members of the Expanse. Now, take me through, and there was a lengthy process of getting this season renewed.
Oh man, it was painful.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was it was heartbreaking. It was painful. It was demoralizing. It was tragic. There was tears. There was cries to our deities and our gods. But it really was sad because. It's one thing if you're doing a show and it's had its run, and it's now you're starting to repeat yourself, and it's kind of like, okay, how much longer can we keep this horse going? Now its day is done, so we'll bow out gracefully. That's one thing. It's still sad because you've been doing it for years. It's another thing when you are a thoroughbred in your prime, and
Right.
you're just hitting your stride, and you have not even achieved the zenith because the best is yet to come in terms of story. We just launched our season 3, and episode 1 of season 3 got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with fans and reviewers, and the reviews are coming out one after the other, and literally the reviewers are euphoric, the fans are euphoric. We're like on a high, thinking, wow, this is amazing. Season 3 even better than season 2, and we're just waiting for season 4 to get renewed, and then it doesn't come, and we're kind of like shifting uncomfortably and like, okay, well, let's wait till next week, and then the show gets even better responses the next week, and we're like, okay, ratings are going up a little bit, and finally we get called into the office, and our producer is telling us, sorry, we tried our best, and it's not coming back, so this is the end of the line for the Expanse. And we're like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, seriously. We did our, and I said, well, is there anything we can do about that? No, we tried everything, and there's nothing we can do. And basically, we walked in there with one thing in mind. We walked out hugging and kissing and crying and saying goodbye, and then taking souvenirs from the office because we wanted to have a little bit of
little memorabilia,
like our comic book or our pop dolls. And then something magical happened in that kind of 18-day period after that meeting. And I had read the books, book 4 and book 5, and I was like, this doesn't make sense because the best story is coming. Like this show can't end now. No, like if it had tanked and if people had hated it and if it hadn't been getting good responses, okay, I'll accept that. I'll humbly accept that. But we were doing everything right, and it should. And it was the only reason it was going out was because we were a show that was on a network that was working on an old model, and they weren't able to generate revenue based on the old model with a show that really is designed to be binged. It's not designed to be watched live with commercials because it's an epic space opera.
Right.
And so we were being penalized in a way for the format that we were chosen. And I said, this doesn't make sense. And then so I talked to Syfy, and I said, what would it take to reopen negotiations? And I talked to Alcon, and I got so much information that I didn't know. And I said, if I don't know it, the fans don't know it. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go online, and I'm going to talk to everybody, and I'm going to tell them what I just learned. And maybe the powers that be will see fit to use this information to direct those fans and guide them into a miracle.
Right.
And those fans were amazing. They were passionate. They were focused. They were intelligent. They were skilled. Their hashtags and their fundraising and their Save the Expanse initiatives were spectacular, creative. And then once they got a little bit of information from me, I kind of focused them. I got them pointed in a direction that was actually going to impact.
Right.
And they went like ballistic on it, and they bumped up our ratings double digits on the next episode.
Oh, I know. I was one of those people that was binge watching that season.
Yeah, and turn on your TVs and leave your TVs on, and so all of a sudden, Syfy was kind of like talking again. All of a sudden, Amazon, which had been out of the picture, came back in the picture again, and I don't know all of the machinations that happened in behind closed doors, but it happened quick. And then we found out about it in the most miraculous way at a science convention where Jeff Bezos was a guest of honor receiving an award. And he worked out some kind of miracle that day because he made an announcement that was not supposed to happen. And he made it live on stage. And we were there.
Yeah.
It wasn't we weren't expecting it. And he he announced that the Expanse had been saved, the Rossi was safe, and I think he did something during the dinner break because I saw him working away on his phone for about 10 minutes straight, texting after he had met us and shook hands with us and said, nothing's been done yet, we're really hopeful, but he was very non-committal, and then he got up on stage and he said, before I accept my award, I just want to talk about the Expanse, how many people know it, and the whole audience goes, woo! And then he goes, and I just want you to know, I talked to these great actors and told them an hour ago we didn't know what was going to be happening, and I just got word 10 minutes ago that the Expanse has been saved. The Rossi is safe. And we all just died in our seats. We all looked at each other. Tears started coming. I jumped up and cheered and whooped and hollered, and Jeff was just beaming, and our people were crying. It was just an amazing Cinderella experience.
So what are you most looking forward to now going on to Amazon, to that platform?
Oh, Amazon's going to be fun because, don't get me wrong, Syfy did it right. I don't know how much better we could have done a show on Syfy. It was great, and they did it great, and they were really good contributors to the quality of the show. We're going to have some advantages on Amazon because we're not limited now by commercial breaks, so the writers can write differently. They don't have to write with cliffhangers every 15 minutes to support a commercial that's coming in. They don't have to write within a 47-minute time frame. They can write, if they want to write a 70-minute episode, because that's what the story demands, they can do it. Or if they run short on time, oh well. I've seen episodes on Netflix and Amazon that run 90 minutes for normally a 1-hour show, just because that episode required it. So creatively, artistically, we have a lot more freedom. We're not going to be limited to our adult content anymore. This can be a little bit more sexy. The characters don't have to worry, but we don't have to count our swear words.
Right.
Some of our characters, like Avasarala, are going to be let off the chain.
Oh, so I can imagine.
she can be a little bit more reflected of how she is in the books, which fans have been chomping at the bit for. So there's just going to be a lot more freedom creatively that will allow us to take an already great storytelling experience and make it even that more polished.
And you mentioned the literature behind the book, or behind the show. Do you expect it to change at all going into next season? Because where we left off the last season, obviously the gates are open. Imagine the floodgate.
Yeah.
We don't know what's on the other end.
Well, this is basically the solar system space equivalent of the gold rush, right? Something is discovered. There's a massive wealth and resources that are completely unclaimed and available to whoever has the balls and the wherewithal and the guts and the glory to go and take it. And it's highly risky. It's very much a life and death kind of adventure, but you know what? That's what conquering the Wild West was. And a lot of people died, and a lot of people became rich, and a lot of people planted a flag, and that's what created the West of the United States, right? So we have now got the gold rush in space, and instead of gold, we have planets. So God only knows what's going to happen when humanity is given the freedom to just go for it.
And so should we expect some of the same antagonists to be up to their old ways, or can we drop any hints on that?
That's a good question, because the writers in the writing room, I haven't got any scripts yet, so I don't know what they're doing. But they're always reconfiguring, rewriting. They're taking new characters and actually merging them into old characters. Like the drummer character is a character from a book way down the line, and they brought her forward and they merged her with another bunch of characters. Season 3, she was merged with a bunch of characters. So we never know what they're going to do. Anderson Dawes and Fred Johnson, these guys are being mutated and changed to serve the story on television. They're still there. We don't know how they're going to be featured. Who knows what's going to happen with Ehrenreich? I don't know. I love that character. But he's been arrested, so I don't know if they have a death penalty for this level of treason. But if they do, who knows what's going to happen with Clarissa Mao. She went through a huge redemption, and she redeemed herself at the end and saved all of the solar system, basically saved humanity, so maybe she deserves a second shot. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out, I guess, in the next season. And final question, the science background. Would you say this show got a lot of its elements from Battlestar Galactica or Stargate Atlantis just because of the way it's going, or what's your opinion on that?
No, I think the science in this show, it comes straight from the books. Frank and Daniel Abrams are huge science nerds themselves. They wanted to create an extremely realistic world that really reflected and looked like what our Earth colonization would really look like, with all the mess and all the blood, sweat, and tears and all the death and all the danger that would really exist. And space is dangerous.
Yep.
There's no artificial gravity. There is no force fields. There's no laser beams. There's nothing, it's like space is trying to kill you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The radiation, the cold, the vacuum, the time, the high intensity gravity, the long distances you have to travel, all of that stuff is trying to destroy you. It becomes a character. It becomes a character in the show, and it adds to the drama of the show. So they wanted to create a TV show like that. So I don't think they were stealing anything. Maybe I think what you can look for in all 3 seasons, our writing room loves to throw Easter eggs and nods and homages to all sorts of very, very famous classic films, not just science fiction. And so you'll look through the show. I think they did something for 2001. They put a little kind of obelisk type thing somewhere in there, but they're always really craftily hidden. And but Ty and Daniel and Narain all love putting little things inside there. I'm sure there's a Battlestar thing either in there already or coming.
We don't have Cylons, so we don't have to worry about that,
exactly,
I guess.
Right.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Cas. I appreciate the interview, and looking forward to season 4.
Everybody went over to